As we get things started and kicked off underway here, your official for our opening matchup, Ducky, Leslie Lorenzo versus Desawn. Number one contendership for the Gladiator Championship Wrestling United States Championship on the line. Before the bell can even ring, Desawn on the attack right away. That clubbing blow across the shoulder blades of Lorenzo, now just laying into him, stomping. Trying to grab an early lead in this matchup now. That hard shot sends Lorenzo reeling into the corner. Goes for a splash, but Lorenzo not having it, up and over on the outside of the rope. Blocked by Desawn. Desawn bounces head first. Lorenzo now flips over and back inside the ring. Again, Lorenzo blocks that, and Desawn now off the ropes. Oh! Beautiful! Rana now takes out the knee of Lorenzo. Desawn well in control of this matchup early on. Lorenzo now having a word with official Ducky. Seems to have some issues with his knee pads there. Now back on the attack, goes for the cover 2 count against Lorenzo. Now focusing on the ground attack. Desawn there, you can see that. Rear choke locked in, trying to get it locked in, trying to get around the neck now. A headbutt to the back, followed up by another one, and another one just unleashing. Onto the back of Lorenzo. Now goes for the cover. 2 count. Lorenzo still very much involved in it now. Close-up shot there. Desawn setting Lorenzo up, using that rope for leverage, and that boot right across the neck, trying to take out the oxygen and the breath out of Lorenzo. Lorenzo has just been suffering an onslaught of attacks. Now that hard stomp across the back of the neck of Lorenzo. Desawn now back into the center of the ring. That chin lock locked in. Follows it up with an elbow right into the collarbone and back to that chin lock again. Trying to wear down his opponent Lorenzo here. Lorenzo though finding some fight back. Those shots right into the jaw, trying to mount an attack, but Desawn shuts him down with those stomps right into the ribs. Now that knee right on the back of his head, just shoving his face more into the mat, and again back to that ground attack. See, he has that choke locked in. Crowd here in Greenwood coming alive for support with Lorenzo. Lorenzo trying to gather the strength to get back up, gets into a seating position at least. Now trying to reach as Desawn wrenches that hold in a little bit harder. Now those shots right into the ribs. Lorenzo able to break that hold now, back to his feet. Met with a hard forearm into the jaw, followed by another forearm, but Lorenzo answers back with one of his own. Now has Desawn reeling. Shot on right feet, answers with a kick. Right into the midsection, now off the ropes. Lorenzo ducks underneath it, crossbody, but Lorenzo catches in midair. The amazing strength of Lorenzo. Now hard slam down. Now Lorenzo quickly in control of this matchup. As he goes for off the ropes. Little razzle dazzle and some dancing out for the crowd. A big elbow, but misses its target as Desawn rolls out of the way. Lorenzo feeling confident a little early on there, and again a hard boot right into the chest of Lorenzo. Again, you can see the toll this matchup has taken on there early on Lorenzo's space as they're in the corner now. Desawn back on the attack. Whips Lorenzo across into the other corner. Double arm splash, but Lorenzo right on the attack back. Just when you thought you might have to start counting him out now. That reverse splash again. Lorenzo feeling himself here. Desawn reeling in the corner, goes for a cannonball and it lands. Desawn seems to be out of it now. Desawn now reeling after that cannonball. Lorenzo feeling good. Manager forward. Desawn tries to get away. Lorenzo ducks underneath it. Oh, and an eye rake by Desawn creates the opening he needs now. The Famouser rolls him up for the cover. Desawn, and that's the bell. 3 counts. And your new #1 contender for the Gladiator Championship Wrestling U.S. Championship, Desawn. What a way to kick things off here. First match out the gate. Awesome action. So we wait for our next competitors to make their way out. Set up for tag team action. Gladiator Championship Wrestling Tag Team Championships on the line. Now in the ring, the tag team of Alpha and King, known as Conry. And these two have certainly seen action all across Arkansas. hailing from Little Rock, but certainly seen them in multiple promotions, certainly a team that you don't want to underestimate. Official Brian Scott in the ring, getting ready for tag team action again. Gladiator Championship Wrestling Tag Team Championships on the line. There's the bell. Full Throttle versus Connery. Certainly can be an exciting matchup. Now, one thing with Connery, they can be very physical, but you don't want to count out Full Throttle. They are some high flyers. Start set up for a collar elbow tie up of Full Throttle. Goes for those leg kicks and well in control early on here. As King, but catches him in the middle. Look to be going for a clothesline. Beautiful quick suplex, looks to catch one of the members of Full Throttle. And Tyler in there, an Alpha with a shot. Now those elbows, and we see fix him up, big body slam. Tyler really trying to wrap things up. Alpha in now 2 count against Tyler of Full Throttle. Now focus on that midsection and answers it with a shot right into the jaw. Now Brian Scott having words with Alpha. On the other side again about those closed fists. Perhaps creating an opportunity. Tag made now. King, the legal man in. And again we start to see that teamwork of Connery. Double hook slam, and again trying to make a tag to his team member, but King, quick to pull him away, that wherewithal again, cutting the ring in half as a team of Connery. Now Full Throttle trying to get the crowd to show some love and support, give some will to Tyler. Tyler seems to be favoring the lower back again, just a hand's reach away. But again, there you go. You see the wherewithal, the knowledge, the ring knowledge of Alpha. King, again, just a fingertip away. But again, King cutting that ring in half, now having some words. Him on the outside, turns his attention off Tyler for just a minute. I don't know if that was a good thing. Now it's taunting him, saying, come on, make a tag. And again, just as he gets close, shutting him down. Now King. Locks that in now, using his weight right on the back and spine of Tyler. You can see the frustration starting to mount for Full Throttle and Talon. And again, drags Tyler to Connery's respective corner. Tag made. Now Alpha, the legal man in, starts off with a hard shot right into the temple of Tyler. Now Tyler showing some fight here, trying to get back. Has Alpha reeling, now firing off, just unleashing a load of shots. Now gets some revenge on King. Then gets some fresh blood in there, but goes for a cover, trying to wrap it all up on his own. 1 count. Too early to put him away. But again, the fight is not out of Tyler. Now Tyler focusing on that arm. With shots of that knee right into the forearm and elbow. Take out those arms, that takes out the power of those hits. Now, finally, a tag made. Tyler gets catch himself a little break. Talon up to the top rope, and again, that beautiful splash off the top rope, goes for the cover. 2, almost a 3 count. Almost able to put him away. He's charged up and roaring, ready to go. Talon, your legal man in there. Might have missed something there, but again, Alva set him up, Irish whip across. Oh, flips him inside out with that clothesline. What power. Again, this team of King and Alpha Connery. Now Alpha using that rope, choke the life out of Talon. And one has to ask themselves if Full Throttle might have bitten off more than they can chew. Again, you have the incredible strength and just intensity of Connery here. Tag made. Now King, the legal man, in. Alpha holding Talon up in that open shot right into the ribs. You can hear echo. Here in Greenwood, Arkansas, crowd coming alive, showing their love, and beautiful slam. Talon landing right on his shoulders and back of his neck. Alpha and King in control again of this matchup and feeling confident. Tyler on the outside trying to get the crowd behind Talon. Follows it up with another fallaway slam by Alpha. Talon not showing any signs of life there right now. Now start to see some movement. Talon pushing himself slowly back to his feet, but can't get up to the knees all the way before Alpha King on the attack. King looks to be setting him up. Oh! Right across the neck of Talon with that boot. We're going to see it one more time here. It's a thing of beauty. Oh, and a third one. How much more can Talon take? Both these men and Connery are working like a well-oiled machine. Now Alpha, legal man in, sends Talon hard into the corner, falls over the clothesline. And again, up and over he goes. Talon just being tossed around like a rag doll here by the team of Connery. Cover of a 2 count. Talon somehow able to find the willpower to kick out. Talon looks like he might be trying to mount an offense here. Now focusing in a flurry of shots, just unleashing. Sends Alpha in the corner, drop kick, sends King off the side of the rope. Now tag made, Tyler the legal man in, splash by Talon. Now Tyler, big DDT right in the center of the ring, goes for the cover. Isn't enough to do it. 2 count. Alpha able to get his shoulder up. And Tyler showing some frustration now, getting the crowd support. Come alive here, he's tuning it up in the corner. Lands the super kick now, drags him to the center of the ring, rolls him up for the cover. 1, 2, 2 count. For that big super kick, not enough to put away now. Back into his own respective corner. Tag made. Talon, legal man, back in as both men firing off on the kidneys of Alpha. DDT now. Talon goes for the cover. 2 count. Had to be very close. I don't think there was daylight between the hands, between the official Brian Scott's hands in that mat. Now another tag made. Tyler Legal Man in, drop kick to King, sends him off the side apron. Now full throttle, working together, but Alpha ducks underneath it. Double clothesline takes out Tyler and Talon, both members of Full Throttle. King making his way back up to the side apron. Now tag made. King, your Legal Man in. Alpha has Tyler in the lock, passes him off to King. Now King, the full press, and just tosses him to the side like he's a bag of feathers. Some taunting going on there by King. Tag made. Alpha now the Legal Man in. As both members of Full Throttle trying to chop him down at the same time. Oh! Double kicks both men. Going for the cover. There's the 3 count. Overcoming the strength of Conley, and still your GCW Tag Team Champions, Tyler, Talon, Full Throttle. Excellent win for those two young men. We have here now both members having words in the ring. And good sign of sportsmanship by both teams there. Oh, only for so long. King of Team Connery with that hard shot against Talon. And Tyler. They exit the ring. Little added insult there at the end of the match, but the story has been told nonetheless. After a hard-fought battle, still your Gladiator Championship Wrestling Tag Team Champions. Full Throttle. We'll be back in just a moment.
October 4th, Gladiator Championship Wrestling presents the Hometown Throwdown. Watch Leslie Lorenzo go toe-to-toe, but definitely not eye-to-eye, with the giant, the NWA sensation, Jack Talos, as he makes the Gladiator Championship Wrestling debut. And will the inaugural Gladiator Championship Wrestling Junior Heavyweight Champion Soda Pop continue this historic reign, or will it come to a dramatic close? Known for taking on all challengers, watch the first ever Gladiator Championship Wrestling Triple Crown Champion and current United States Champion, the Gladiator GOAT Matthew De Luna, defend his championship with pride. Don't forget to support the 3 men who have called Cedarville their home their whole lives. Wayne Adams, Cage Parker, and referee Cody Brown. They are all champions in their own right. We cannot wait to bring Gladiator Championship Wrestling to Cedarville, Arkansas for the very first time.
making his return to Gladiator Championship Wrestling, Bo Betton. As he gets ready to face off in singles competition against Chris Fortune. Get another name that has made their way around the independent scene. Chris Fortune showing up in multiple different promotions. Certainly a man that feels so there's only two things Chris Fortune cares about. That's money and gold. Official for this match, Ducky, has both men start to approach each other and take their respective corners. You hear Bo ask official Ducky to check Chris Fortune, be sure he's not hauling any weapons. Now both men showing off a little bit to each other. And there we have the bell. And both men starting things off right in the center of the ring. Fortune off the ropes now, forearm back from Bo. Answers right back by Fortune. Fortune now trying to string him together. Has Bo reeling on his feet a little bit. Fortune sends it for a whip across. Big shoulder tackle right into Bo. Both men matching up pretty well size and weight-wise. So it seems to be a little bit more mass on Bo, and now Bo well in control with those shots right into the midsection. Now sends Fortune off in a shoulder of his own. Sends Fortune reeling Bo in the black and purple there. Oh, and the manager of Chris Fortune causing a little bit of distraction. Fortune trying to capitalize on it, gets a 2 count. Follows it up with an elbow right into the jaw of Bo. Now Fortune, what's he thinking here on that middle turnbuckle? Pushed up nicely, and that elbow right into the eye of Bo. Cover 2.5. Bo able to get a shoulder up. Fortune showing a little bit of frustration there. Fortune having a word with official Ducky, but doesn't realize Bo back to his feet already, handful of hair, turns his attention back on him. Now that shot, forearm right into the jaw, sets him up here. Bo Betton now creating an opening for himself, grabbing himself a little bit of a breather there as he's back on the attack now, pulling Fortune back up. Fortune a shot right into the midsection of Bo. Bo answers back with a shot in. Oh! Fortune going south of the border there to create an opportunity. Down in the Fruit of the Loom area. Cheap tactic, follows it up with a DDT. Now Fortune, confident cover, 2 count. Bo still very much involved in this, and again you see the frustration building in Fortune. Now Fortune pushing Bo into the corner. Fortune starting to measure him up. He's into the other corner now, gets that running start. Oh, and that reverse elbow right into the sternum. Oh, sends him a whip, Irish whip across into the other corner. Looks to be doing it again. Oh, but this time Bo ducks out of the way. Fortune catching nothing but turnbuckle right between the eyes. Oh! Bookend slam by Bo. Now goes for a cover of his own. 2. Fortune able to kick out. Now Bo turning his attention to the knee and leg there of Fortune. That's certainly a smart strategy. We've already seen Fortune get up. Well, that middle turnbuckle certainly cuts down his flying ability and running ability. Fortune reverses it. Oh! Shoulder into the ribs, takes down Bo. Both men now trying to get back to their feet. Fortune back to one knee and now back to his feet now. Those shots right across the shoulder blades of Bo Benton. You hear Fortune talking a little trash there in the corner now. Fires off a string of shots. Combo now. Official Ducky trying to get Fortune to give him a break in the corner there. Fortune having words with Ducky. Apparently maybe a fan or trying to just be sure. Obviously some type of discussion. Fortune not quite sure of the rules there. Maybe double checking with Ducky. As Bo still reeling from those shots into the jaw earlier by Fortune. Now Fortune with that knee to the midsection looks to be setting him up here. Up and over. Finds its mark right in the lower back and spine of Bo. Now confident, cocky, can only pin, only a 1 count. Fortune now with that headlock. And that shot to the midsection. Fortune blocked by Bo. That shot right into the jaw. Bo now with that hard chop. Sends Fortune down now. Bo feeling himself and pandering to the crowd here a little bit at Gladiator Championship Wrestling. Could be a signal in the beginning. Hip toss, shoulder toss by Bo. Bo starting to gain some confidence. You can see this match though wearing both these competitors down. What do we have here? Oh! That shot by Fortune's accompaniment. Oh no! What do we have here? What's going on? Again, come on! This is one thing for sure about Fortune. He's always got a little something up his sleeve. You never know what. Absolutely disgusting to see. Can't win it on his own. So takes a cheap way out, disqualification. That chair shot, but again, bell ringing here. Official Ducky trying to get some order in the ring, but Fortune has handled it here now, grabbing that chair. Oh, this doesn't look good for Bo. This is not the return he was hoping for back here to Gladiator. Oh, but Ducky able to get in there and get him protected. Security guards making their way to try and break this up. Helping Bo to the back. But the damage already done. Bo gonna have to get checked out. Hopefully his return wasn't spoiled by the tactics, just the disgusting tactics of Chris Fortune. Tell you, in all the independent matches I've called throughout Arkansas, if there's one man that I wish would go bankrupt, it's Chris Fortune.
The next 2 times Gladiator Championship Wrestling goes live on October 4th, we will be in Cedarville at the elementary school gym for Hometown Throwdown, and then later that month in Mount Home, Arkansas on the 25th. It will be Havoc in the hangar. Do not miss these 2 great opportunities to come support independent professional wrestling here in Arkansas. Now let's keep this thing rolling.
Certainly an exciting matchup for me to call here. A true legend among independent wrestling in Arkansas. The man, the myth, the legend himself, Jeff Jett, as he faces off against USJ. Certainly my first time seeing USJ in action, but again, you cannot deny the experience and veteran status of Jeff Jett. USJ just may find himself going to school in this matchup. Official Brian Scott getting the checks underway now, checking on Jeff Jett. USJ, both men ready to go, and as we wait for the bell to ring, and looks like the crowd here showing some love for USJ. Collar elbow tie up. USJ, Jeff Jett. Jeff Jett wins that battle, gets USJ right into the corner. Little tap there right in the chest as he backs off. Now, Jeff Jett calling for a tie out. Oh, had some extra sweat, man, makes it a little slippery. You're flying around the ring there. Now, here we go. Both men circling each other again. Collar elbow tie up, center of the ring. Jeff has USJ back into the corner. Rears back and again. Backs off. A little teasing here by Jeff Jett to the young gun USJ. Now again, collar elbow tie up. Oh, but USJ now has Jeff Jett, but he's not going to let him go. Follows it up with a chop. Now a second chop. Jeff Jett had enough playing. Oh! Oh! Follows it up with another one. I think his heart touched his spine. Jett enough playing around, and now just unleashing those chops from all angles now. Nightmare takedown. Oh! Right across the forehead of USJ. Now Jett setting up. Oh, and that big knee, you see it. Lands right on the temple of USJ. Crowd here in Greenwood, Arkansas, showing their love for USJ. Right now, Jeff Jett working this match at his pace, well in control. Now that knee in the spine and chin lock locked in. We got official Brian checking if USJ wants to tap out. He's not giving up. USJ, though, firing up. Now back to a knee, now trying to make his way back to his feet, now back to his feet, ducks underneath it. Can he break that hold? Jett still has it locked in tight, pulls him right back down. Jett with that rear lock now. USJ again trying to mount his way back up, makes his way back to his feet again, tries to duck out underneath. Let's see if he can do it this time. Now with those elbows right into the midsection, that forces Jett to release it, but not before he pulls him down with a handful of hair. Again, that's exactly that veteran instinct that I'm talking about with Jeff Jett. A man that's been around the Arkansas independent scene and beyond for years. You might not like him, but one thing you cannot deny is his veteran knowledge with that huge slam. Center of the ring. Now that elbow right into the heart of USJ. And again, another one off the ropes and right into the heart now. Rolls him up for the cover. 2 count. USJ able to get a shoulder up, stay alive in this matchup. And Jeff Jett winning that Hall of Fame, or getting inducted into the 2025 Gladiator Championship Wrestling Hall of Fame earlier this evening. Inducted in by his own daughter. Certainly a touching moment for them there. And no matter what you feel about Jeff Jett, whether good or bad, you cannot take away this man's contributions to the industry itself. Crowd here in Greenwood, Arkansas, coming alive for USJ. USJ has just been an onslaught of attacks, but firing back now. Finds some room there. Those shots to the midsection now has Jett reeling, trying to line him up. Goes for there, but Jett able to telegraph it. Big boot right into the midsection. Sends USJ back down. A little extra hang time on that one from Jett. Now goes for the cover. 2 3/4 almost put USJ away. Now just 2 count. USJ again able to get his shoulder up, shaking his head no. And Jeff Jett gets back to work again. Again, not leaving any openings, any chance for question, any chance to catch your breath. Just hit after hit after hit and having his way again. Jett working at his pace. Jett working at his pace. Keeping the momentum of this matchup in his favor. Now Jett just picking apart USJ here. First the knee, now the ankle. Again, looks to has that submission locked in. Official Brian checking on USJ as Jett wrenches it just a little bit more. Handful of hair of Brian telling him, keep that hand open. USJ not saying he wants to give up, but how's he going to get out of this one? The crowd trying to show their support. USJ making some movement here, trying to get back to his feet, up to one knee. Now back and a shot into the jaw. And into the neck of Jeff Jett. Now USJ, can he keep on it? Oh, Jett tried to duck underneath it, but USJ caught him. German suplex and releases it. USJ taking a minute to catch his breath now, climbing up. Middle turnbuckle perch, Jett making his way back to his feet. USJ feeling confident, goes flying, big flying shoulder takedown by USJ. USJ might be looking for a second one here, perched up on that middle turnbuckle. You can see he's feeling it. Sizing up his landing. Jett now back to his feet. Jett pushes the official Brian Scott in front. Stops USJ again. Cheap tactic by Jett. Grab himself an opportunity again. No. USJ. Oh! Official Brian didn't see it. Jett taking advantage of an opportunity. Again, that veteran knowledge, always known where he is, but better yet, always known where his opponent is. Oh! Sideline slam, goes for the cover. Oh, tries to use a rope there for a little extra leverage, but official Brian caught it. Calls Jett out on it. Almost tried to steal the victory. Jett setting USJ up. Oh, and again! Hang time slam, follows it up with a cover. That's all she wrote. Jet coming into this matchup, working it his way, his pace, his tempo. And USJ just wasn't ready for it. Texas Outlaws have, I gotta say. American Classics music hit and this place just exploded. Here in Greenwood, Arkansas. Legendary Iceman Steve Frost, Chris Cage making up the American Classics. Cage Parker, the original Renegade with the Outlaws. Manico, Dakota Clayton, and Jesse James Parker, all members of the new Texas Outlaws. Right now you have Cage Parker and Manico in the ring, along with the original Renegade. And this ring has gotten filled up quick with talent. I'm not quite sure if Ducky's going to be able to keep everyone at bay here. Ducky trying to gain order here and hearing it from everybody. American Classics and the new Texas Outlaws having words with each other. American Classics handing their flags to those beautiful ring girls. Certainly give a shout out to them. Again, my name is Rich Rockwell on commentary. see the American Classics threatening to stomp that cowboy hat of the new Texas Outlaws. Looks like we're getting ready to get things underway here. The original Renegade and Manico looks to be set up in this matchup. They get ready to face off against the American Classics, Iceman, Steve Frost, and Chris Cage. I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Members of New Texas Outlaws running to the back quickly. And you hear the crowd here in Greenwood, Arkansas, breaking out with the USA chants. You might be a fan of Texas, but they are fans of the entire country. Here in Greenwood, Arkansas again, Ducky trying to get both members, respectable members of each team.
Microphone.
Somebody asking for a microphone here. Apparently has a few things that he wants to say. Another 2025 Hall of Fame inductee this evening is Renegade. And there's the bell. Things finally underway here. Renegade face off against Iceman. First in the ring, both men sizing each other up. And again, this crowd here in Greenwood now breaking out with the Texas chants and the USA chants. USA chants seem to be winning, but honestly, I'd have to say it's just about split evenly. Now both men circling. They're going to size each other up. Renegade backs into the wrong corner there. Catches himself in enemy territory. It looks like Iceman is ready. Perhaps, oh, finally a collar elbow tie-up. Renegade gets the upper hand. Wrenches in that lock. Frost reverses it. Renegade trying to find some room here, something to grab on, but Frost now on the attack. In that wrist lock. Pulls him down and stays with it locked in. Renegade rakes the eyes of the Iceman. Creates an opening for himself now. Those shots right into the midsection. Now Renegade using that rope, and you see just choking, using that rope to choke the life out of Frost. Tries to set him off, but Frost hangs onto the rope. Now those shots right across the back of the head of Frost. Frost looks to be a little wobbly on his feet early on this matchup. Not to be outdone, Chris Cage dangling a strap of some sort there, a leather strap. against the Outlaw. So against Renegade. Tag made now. Chris Cage, the legal man in. It looks like Renegade retreating back to his corner quickly. Not sure if he wants to have anything to do with Chris Cage. Cage folding up that leather strap. That's something we've seen. Well, that's their own for the American Classics. That strap you see perched on the corner there of the Outlaws. It's Renegade firing off with those shots across the back of the neck and back shoulders of Chris Cage. A quick shot right into the midsection, follows it up with a shot right in the temple. Now Renegade reeling a little bit. Cage sends Renegade off the ropes. Renegade able to telegraph it. Big boot follows it up with a clothesline. Now tag made. Manico, the legal man, in. Manico off that first turnbuckle. That double fist right onto the head of Chris Cage. Now firing off with those shots is the crowd here in Greenwood, coming alive with the USA chants. Oh! Manico! Throwing some sand in the eyes of Chris Cage. Oh, and now a little bit to the Iceman, Steve Frost, on the outside. And those tactics, questionable tactics by the new Texas Outlaws, seemed to affect him too bad. Maybe got the dirt cleared out of his eyes. Now back into a tag made. Iceman Steve Frost, the legal man, in. Now with that headbutt to Manico, follows it up with another one. Manico reeling now. Iceman sends him across. Spine buster. But Iceman, that's all it took. 3 count. But I'm feeling that's not all the action. It's still out. American Classics, your winners after that spine buster. Flags breaking out, USA chants. This crowd here in Greenville is happy with the result. Legendary Iceman Steve Frost, Chris Cage, American Classics, your winners. We'll be back after this brief message.
Gladiator Championship Wrestling presents the Hometown Throwdown. Watch Leslie Lorenzo go toe-to-toe, but definitely not eye-to-eye, with the giant, the NWA sensation, Jack Talos, as he makes his Gladiator Championship Wrestling debut. And will the inaugural Gladiator Championship Wrestling Junior Heavyweight Champion Soda Pop continue this historic reign, or will it come to a dramatic close? Known for taking on all challengers, watch the first ever Gladiator Championship Wrestling Triple Crown Champion and current United States Champion, the Gladiator GOAT Matthew De Luna, defend his championship with pride. Don't forget to support the 3 men who have called Cedarville their home their whole lives. Wayne Adams, Cage Parker, and referee Cody Brown. They are all champions in their own right. We cannot wait to bring Gladiator Championship Wrestling to Cedarville, Arkansas for the very first time.
Grayson disagreement in the ring. Official Brian Scott not having any funny business. He's about to disqualify Dakota Clayton of the New Texas Outlaws if Cage Parker didn't make his way out of the ring. Bell is rung though, and we are underway. Dakota Clayton versus Gunnar Grayson. An offer of sportsmanship from Clayton. Not sure if I trust it or not, but oh, and again, just as I said it, it happened. Slap. Well, then Gunnar Grayson answers right back, and that was enough to anger him quickly. I don't know if that was necessarily the smartest move for Clayton now having words with Cage Parker of the New Texas Outlaws. Catching a little breather for himself. Talking some strategy. And GM Karen keeping an eye on Jesse on the outside, but action in the ring as Clayton now firing off on Gunnar Grayson. Reverses it now with that chop. Oh, and you hear it echo off, follows up, goes for a third one. But Dakota able to duck underneath it now, answers back with a few chops of his own, says Gunnar Reeland. In the other corner now, Clayton goes for the cover. One count. Early on, going to take more than that to take down Grayson. Now Dakota quickly back to his feet and back on the attack. Looking to set him up, sends him up for a whip across the ring. Big clothesline. Sends Grayson reeling as Dakota shoves him to the outside. Now Dakota having some words with the crowd here in Greenwood, Arkansas. Turns back to his corner here, and Cage Parker there talking some strategy as Gunnar Grayson makes his way back into the ring now. Back on the attack, but Grayson was ready for him. Double hook leg takedown, and then fires off with those shots right into the jaw of Clayton. Now sets him up. Beautiful slam there, follows through by Grayson. Looks to capitalize on it with that lock into place, but not quite strong enough to keep Dakota on his feet. Now whip. Grayson goes for a shoulder block. Clayton just absorbs it all now. Both men off of the ropes. Meet in the middle. Fairly ineffective to both competitors here. Oh, now poke to the eye there. Official Brian Scott didn't see it. Big clothesline again by Dakota Clayton. Slowing down the pace here a little bit. Gonna make his move now. Sends Grayson into the corner. Follows it up with those kicks right into the midsection and ribs. Dakota having words with official Brian Scott on the outside. Might have gotten a little something in his eye, asking for a minute here. Official Brian Scott checking on him as Clayton, well in control, has Grayson set up in the middle of the ring there. Square in the middle, goes but misses a step there, looking for a springboard. Comes off Big Grayson, able to step out of the way. Nothing but mat. For Clayton, that might have created the opening Grayson needed. Not for long. Grayson not able to capitalize on it before. Dakota plants him with that DDT now, crawling back to his corner. Looking for something here, not quite sure what he has here. I didn't see what he grabbed from that turnbuckle. Oh! It looks sure just knocked Gunnar Grayson completely out with whatever that object was again. Couldn't quite see what he grabbed. Clayton here up to the top turnbuckle. Sizing up his landing, getting ready to fly. Beautiful 450 splash finds its mark. Can he capitalize? Rolls Grayson up 1, 2, 3. Again, Clayton steals a win away for the new Texas Outlaws. Jesse James Parker on the outside, Cage Parker. Now going to add insult to injury with that belt, that leather belt strap that the Outlaws just love to run with. Now firing off on Grayson, but the locker room is emptied out. Talon and Tyler of Full Throttle coming to the rescue of Gunnar Grayson. Tyler helping Grayson back to his feet. Security checking on him. Grayson may have to. Might have to have a visit to the medical personnel, but nonetheless, the crowd here in Greenwood, Arkansas, showing their love for Gunnar Grayson. Some assistance to the back. Not quite the ending I was hoping for. Again, those tactics that become so well known from the new Texas Outlaws.
If you have had your opportunities to join us on Facebook and Twitter and all that good stuff on the social, you know that the following match has been a long time coming. As a result of everything that has happened over the past 3 to 4 months, the Coliseum Board of Trustees has washed our hands of the situation, and tonight is an unsanctioned match.
And as you heard there earlier, if you've been following the social medias for Gladiator Championship Wrestling,
This following contest has no time limit, has no rules. It is unsanctioned. The only reason why you are here, sir, is to raise an arm in the crown limit.
making his way out to the ring, Sabotage for this one-on-one matchup. Again, if you've been following the socials for Gladiator Championship Wrestling, you've seen the developments. The Board of Trustees for GCW has washed their hands. This is an unsanctioned matchup. No rules, no disqualifications, anything goes. Official Ducky here just to be sure to raise the arm of the winner and be sure as much as possible that nobody dies from this matchup. Making his way into the ring right there, Sabotage. What a mountain of a man that is.
And his opponent from Rockwall, Texas, he is the RWE United States
Reigns champion. Fans making their way up just to have a chance to get a high five from the man himself, Wayne Adams. He gets ready to do battle. Certainly noticeable size difference here, but one thing that I don't want to count out. Oh, Wayne already came out with that trash can full of weapons and wasted no time bringing more weapons into the mix. Wayne looks to be set on absolute carnage, destruction, and everything else he can find. Already setting things up. Evil intentions circling all around. Be almost a closet door, and Wayne's had enough of that now. Both men not wasting any time, getting to the action before even the bell is rung. Flurry of shots, no love lost between these two. Again, an unsanctioned matchup. Anything goes, and already Sabotage sending Wayne through that door and then following up with a chair shot right into the knee, taking out the knees of Wayne. Early on action already spilled outside of the ring. Sabotage on the other side here, grabbing a trash can lid. Security clearing the way for fans. Please be careful. And that shot from the trash can lid. An unsanctioned matchup, and these two men aren't leaving anything to question. Oh! Wayne there picks up that trash can, bounces it right off the skull of Sabotage. Now a metal pipe across the shoulders. Ladies and gentlemen, this match is not for the squeamish or the light of stomach. Now Sabotage using that pole to choke the air out of Wayne, but Wayne with the wherewithal, backing into that corner post. Break that hold now. Again, action spilling to the outside here. Sabotage making a row, and Wayne back again for more with that kendo stick shot. Ladies and gentlemen, let me let you know now, both these men have absolute destruction on the mind for their opponent. Now, Sabotage putting that trash can right over the head of Wayne Adams and just batters up with that kendo stick. Now follows up with a kendo stick shot of his own as Sabotage was looking for a weapon, and now they're spilling back out in the crowd area. Both men now. I don't think we have cameras out that far. We can't see what's going on. I have no idea. They've gone out of the sight of cameras and out of my sight. Absolutely no idea, but again, unsanctioned matchup. There's no way to see. Certainly a crowd gathering over there. I can hear them bouncing off the walls. Here in Greenwood, Arkansas. Trying our best to get cameras back there, but can't see anything. Crowd coming alive here. There we go. We can start to see some action. I still don't know if we can get any cameras back there. There we go. Now we're on camera. Looks like a toilet seat. Is that a toilet seat? A toilet seat was wrapped around. I don't even know where they got a toilet from. Both men over in the concession stand area. Maybe Wayne stopping for a refreshment. Wants to get a bite of them nachos. Again, that's that entranceway into the arena. Up near the concession stand area. Both these men absolute set on destructing each other. I'm not even sure. It looks like a metal cord or maybe a hose of some sort wrapped around the neck of Wayne Adams as he bounces off that car hood. Courtesy of Sabotage. Sabotage now making his way back into the ring. It looks like whatever happened over there by concessions, Sabotage has been busted open. Blood pouring profusely out of his forehead, turning into a crimson mask. Wayne Adams now stumbling his way back in. Security making their way back to the ring. Wayne Adams been busted open too. He's bleeding out of his forehead. Both men now Wayne back on the attack. Wayne signaling he's done. Just a crimson mask of blood pouring out of his forehead. Sabotage laid out. Crowd coming alive here in Greenwood, Arkansas. Gladiator Championship Wrestling. Wayne looking to put him away. Finds a table underneath the ring. There's more wood laid out around and inside the ring than a Bonnie Blue convention. Crowd clearing out here. Security trying to make their way. This doesn't look good here. I'm not sure which competitor is going to come out. I'm not sure if this is a smart idea. That table there blocking my view. I'm not quite sure what's going on. Wayne. On the other side there, you can see all the carnage and destruction laid out all alongside the ringside. Both men haven't stopped bleeding. Wayne looks set. Sabotage on that chair, but it looks like that chair collapsed. Now drilling that chair right into the neck of Sabotage, just choking the life out of him. Applying all the strength right onto the throat of Sabotage. Ducky calling a stop to this match. Again, carnage laid out all over. Rampage hasn't moved. Haven't seen any life out of him since that chair right across the throat. Wayne Adams just a bloody mess. It's that refreshment that he was looking for possibly a little earlier. Your winner. You can still see the blood just pouring out of the forehead of Wayne Adams. win nonetheless. They've gotten Sabotage back to his feet, but he looks to be completely out of it. I'm not even sure if he knows where he is, both men, leaving flesh and blood all around this arena. Oh, and these two men still aren't done with each other, even after all that, even after the bell is rung. Security trying to get both these men out of here and back to the back. Sabotage, with the assistance of security, making his way to the back. Medical in tow. They're going to definitely need to check out. Both men, Sabotage. What a matchup. We'll be right back after this, ladies and gentlemen.
October 4th, Gladiator Championship Wrestling is the hometown throwdown. Watch Leslie Lorenzo go toe-to-toe, but definitely not eye-to-eye, with the giant, the NWA sensation, Jack Talos, as he makes the Gladiator Championship Wrestling debut. And will the inaugural Gladiator Championship Wrestling Junior Heavyweight Champion Soda Pop continue this historic reign, or will it come to a dramatic close? Known for taking on all challengers, watch the first ever Gladiator Championship Wrestling Triple Crown Champion and current United States Champion, the Gladiator GOAT Matthew De Luna, defend his championship with pride. Don't forget to support the three men who have called Cedarville their home their whole lives: Wayne Adams, Cage Parker, and referee Cody Brown. They are all champions in their own right. We cannot wait to bring Gladiator Championship Wrestling to Cedarville, Arkansas for the very first time.
Hometown Throwdown in October 25th, Havoc in the Hangar in Mount Home, Arkansas. Again, a big thank you to our friend Rich over there, handling our play-by-play and our live stream and everything. Make sure you follow us up and subscribe. Go give him a like on Facebook and show him some love and appreciation for everything he does. Mr. Greg, big thank you for taking care of our sound and everything tonight. Miss Julie and her team in the back, getting all fed and get some refreshments and everything like that. A big thank you to everybody behind the scenes who works their tail off to make things like this happen. You good? It looks like we're ready to kick this thing off. Y'all ready for the man in the evening?
This is
With a 1 hour time limit in the sport. Championship Wrestling United States Championship. Introducing first in the corner to my right, he is your challenger from Atascosa County, Texas, standing 5 foot 10 inches tall, weighing 250 pounds, the Maniac, Mike Biggs! And his opponent in the corner to my left, standing 7 foot tall, weighing in at 390 pounds, from Key West, Florida, he is the Gladiator and the Dean of
And we are underway, main event of the evening. Gladiator Championship Wrestling U.S. Championship on the line. Matthew DeLuna facing off against Mike Biggs. DeLuna is trying to set up for a test of strength. And answers back. Like now. Their man really now looks like those men pretty evenly matched up, trying to gain the upper hand with this test of strength. DeLuna backing him into the corner though. Both men circling, look to collar elbow tie up right in the center of the ring. Trying to gain their footing now. DeLuna coming out ahead again, backs up. Biggs into the corner. Official Brian Scott breaks him up now. Biggs. Complaining that DeLuna was grabbing his hair. DeLuna with a long history here in Gladiator Championship Wrestling and splitting multiple states in his career. Now both men off the ropes. Oh, the mat at the end there. Biggs sends DeLuna reeling. Biggs there with that shot. Reversal by DeLuna. Big clothesline from the big man. Sends Biggs down. Now DeLuna bouncing Biggs' head off that top turnbuckle. Now setting up on this side. Oh, and a big forearm into the corner. Now DeLuna setting up. Over here, that reversal right into the face of Mike Biggs. Now DeLuna taking a minute here to show some love to his supporters here at Gladiator Championship Wrestling, but celebrating a little too early. That created the opening. Biggs needed hard clothesline now covered by Biggs. 1 count. DeLuna able to get that shoulder up. Now Biggs going to work on the ribs and a big elbow drop right into the chest and sternum of DeLuna. Goes for a cover. 2 count again. DeLuna able to get his shoulder up. Biggs. That clubbing blow across the back of Matthew DeLuna sends him down to the mat. Now again, those kicks, and now adding insult to injury, just rubbing his boot right across the eye and forehead of DeLuna, and you hear Biggs there calling the result of the match a little early. Reversal by Luna. Now another forearm clothesline in the corner. Luna's starting to feel good, stringing together some offense here. Now follows it up with a shot into the jaw, forearm. Luna slowing things down to his pace now. Back up on a reversal. Biggs caught it, shoves Luna down as he escapes out of the corner. Now tries to capitalize on it and go for a cover. 2 count. Luna able to get his shoulder up. Biggs looking surprised. Thought he might have had him put away with that clothesline. Back to work he goes now, targeting the upper back of DeLuna. Now applying some pressure in that weight. Crowd not liking that. Now Biggs rolls him over for a cover. 2 count. DeLuna some way, somehow able to find some strength to get his shoulder back up and stay alive in this matchup. Biggs looks like he's had enough. Biggs starting to charge up here. Drops that big elbow right into the sternum of DeLuna. That woke DeLuna up. DeLuna now back to his feet. Now Biggs bouncing DeLuna's head off that top turnbuckle. Now sizing him up in the corner. Goes for a clothesline, but DeLuna captures it. Bookend slam. Creates an opening he needs to grab himself a quick breath. DeLuna not wasting any time. That big splash. Now into the cover. 2.5. Biggs able to get his shoulder up at the last possible split second. DeLuna almost retained. Now DeLuna firing off with those shots against Biggs. Biggs answers back with one of his own. Now DeLuna sends Biggs reeling. Biggs comes back with one of his own again. DeLuna reeling a little bit. Which man is going to withstand? Now a shot back. Another one by DeLuna. Another one by Biggs. DeLuna. 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 Now DeLuna on the attack. Sends him against the ropes. Whip across. Shoulder takedown. GCW fans showing their love for Matthew DeLuna. Now DeLuna pushing Biggs back in. Irish whip. Goes for a clothesline. Biggs ducks underneath it. Reverse slam. German suplex. Both men laid out here in the ring. Official Brian Scott at a count of 2. See which of these men can make it to their feet first. Biggs rolling around. DeLuna now starting to show some life. Trying to get the crowd behind him, give him some willpower. DeLuna back to his knees. Now 1 foot, now a 2nd foot. Biggs already back up. Goes for a clothesline. DeLuna ducks underneath it. Huge shot into the jaw, followed up by a reverse elbow. DeLuna feeling confident now. Another clothesline. Sends Biggs down. DeLuna finding his mark. Another one. Biggs ducks underneath that one again. Full Nelson. Tries to get it locked in. Now has it locked in and cinched. DeLuna looks to be fading quick here and fading out fast. Brian Scott checking on him. Still showing signs of life. That full Nelson locked in, fingers intertwined with each other. Biggs now in control, but DeLuna finds an opening. That jawbreaker. Now, that cutter is at the moment that he needed. Can DeLuna capitalize? Rolls Biggs over, goes for the cover. 1, Congratulations to the man right there, Matthew DeLuna. In a long history within Gladiator Championship Wrestling, has held several championships and continues as your Gladiator Championship Wrestling U.S. Champion. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a fantastic night of action here at Gladiator Championship Wrestling in Greenwood, Arkansas. Thank you for joining us online. Be sure to mark your calendars. October 4th, when Gladiator Championship Wrestling will return to action.
Professional wrestling in all of Arkansas. Make sure you follow us on Facebook. Subscribe to Gladiator Championship Wrestling.
For myself, Rich Rockwell, handling commentary this evening. Y'all have a great night. We'll see you next time right here for more Gladiator Championship Wrestling.
October 4th, Gladiator Championship Wrestling presents the Hometown Throwdown. Watch Leslie Lorenzo go toe-to-toe, but definitely not eye-to-eye, with the giant, the NWA sensation, Jack Talos, as he makes his Gladiator Championship Wrestling debut. And will the inaugural Gladiator Championship Wrestling Junior Heavyweight Champion Soda Pop continue this historic reign, or will it come to a dramatic close? Known for taking on all challengers, watch the first ever Gladiator Championship Wrestling Triple Crown Champion and current United States Champion, the Gladiator GOAT Matthew DeLuna, defend his championship with pride. Don't forget to support the three men who have called Cedarville their home their whole lives: Wayne Adams, Cage Parker, and referee Cody Brown. They are all champions in their own right. We cannot wait to bring Gladiator Championship Wrestling to Cedarville, Arkansas for the very first time.